Hello there. There's something I've been meaning to talk to you guys about ever since I made the explanation video on YouTube around about a year ago. And that question is, why is there a guy in a horse mask grunting? Why is that white kid speaking Russian? Why is this a thing? A few more than one, but you get the general idea. The ENT Horse series has had a surprising amount of thought put into it over the last few months in my head. This is mainly due to Battle for the Channel deadlines being rushed out, and I needed to create actual substandard lore for it, as well. It should be out by the time that this video is out, the first 2 episodes. Go watch it if you, go watch it if it is. But that is set in the same universe, set in the same dramatical universe as the ENT Horse series. Now, that's quite a big deal lore-wise. So, okay, damn it. I'm rambling here, and there's a reason for it. The reason why is also because 90% of the characters that are introduced, that are main characters in my series, will appear as minor or major roles in Battle for the Channel. Where do I begin? So, I've noticed that the only lore that is set for this universe is either A, non-canon in my eyes, B, just plain messy, and C, just not to a high standard. So that's why with the with me ushering in a new era of horse being more high quality with the writing, I've decided to lay the foundation in this video for what the hell is going on. So the ENT Horse series has got multiple known dimensions that are set in place, some used more than others. There's the overworld, the underworld, and the centerworld. The overworld, no. The centerworld is the most natural of them, that being that it is literally our world, or just the universe in general, as a dimension. The overworld is almost identical to the centerworld for budget reasons, that being £0, and flipped over. Now, it's not been decided yet, but there is going to be more of the centerworld, but for the purposes of, well, just general storytelling, it's not used that much. Now, the underworld, the final one, is the most fleshed out of the three. The underworld's got its own political structure, its own stuff. The underworld is a massive connection of caves, which is a lot different to the overworld, or the center world. That being that the entire universe, or no, not the universe, the dimension of the underworld is just caves. They've checked, they've dug as far as possible, and they've figured it out. It's a completely different dimension, and it is just caves. Now, like the overworld, but to a slightly less degree, this isn't shown off as much because, well, it's going to be hard to, film in a cave. But the underworld has also got its own political structure, its own inhabitants. It's just generally more fleshed out of an idea. Now, there are 2 main political structures to the underworld. There's the Bob Standard, the Parliament, the slightly corrupt, slightly average, slightly boring politics. And then we get to the War Council, which is an almost autonomously governed sector of the underworld, which handles all military investments, including anything to do with the centerworld. That's not even scratching the surface, but for now I'll spare you the time, because most of it will be explained eventually, when I get around to filming it. Now, I would actually, begin telling you the story, before anything happened, you know, before the first point in the series, which is Horse.exe. That's so far as the timeline goes back. But I've been one step ahead for quite a while. You see, for about half a year now, probably a lot more now, I've been planning a 5-part mini-series, known for now only as the prequels, which will serve to explain in more detail the beginnings of the story, not the origins of the underworld or the overworld or the center world, because that would just take too long. But instead, I want to actually explain what ENT is doing up in the center world, and who these random characters are that he just has random connections to. Like, who is Penguin? Who's Vladimir? What the hell is Horse? It will all be explained, don't worry. Just don't leave, please. This prequel, as it will be called from now on, will take place all the way from when ENT first enters the center world, all the way through an explanation through Horse.exe, all the way to the revival. Now I believe this prequel series will be the true beginning of Horse. I believe that anything before the prequel won't be worth watching once you watch the prequel, because this... I just realised I had the script up. Now I believe that this prequel series will really kickstart the major story in Horse, because it's been going for a year now. The ENT Horse series has been going on for a year, and I believe anything before the prequel will be, well, bad compared to the rest of it. I mean, sure, I suppose it's a bit funny in some places, but let's face it, nothing really happens. Well, stuff does happen, but they don't really lead to many events. Now, don't get me wrong, we've loved making them so far, but this will be a real surge in quality of the scripts, of hopefully the acting, and the general enjoyment of watching them. Because before, I'm just looking back and I'm just really cringing now, because not only does nothing make sense, but all the stuff that would make sense is no longer making sense in this head, or Battle for the Channel. Go watch Battle for the Channel. Now, some of you humans that follow me on the Twitters and the Instas will have seen a picture of this dude right here. Now, for now, he will remain a closely guarded secret of mine, but hopefully next week, when hopefully the first episode of the prequel will come out, he will be revealed a bit more. Now, this is a character that has been in my head ever since, well, quite far back around the time that Vladimir was introduced. I actually had the idea for this character, but I hadn't really fleshed him out yet then. This guy's a full-on character now. Overall, so far, we've really enjoyed making the Horse series, and we will continue to enjoy it. But, the rate we're going, the prequel probably won't be out by the end of the year, if I'm lucky. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.